Mark is not good with people. He's proven it time and time again. He's not good with users, and he's going too far in one direction because he's not good at this. So I think it's ultimately a bad decision, worded badly, that brands are not going to care for, and they are an ad-supported platform.
It's 2025, everybody, and Make That Make Sense is back for the new year. We are ramping it up this year with killer episodes with top media executives, and today is going to be no different. Today I've got the pleasure to bring on Phil Ranta. Phil is the Chief Operating Officer at Fixated, a digital media studio and talent management company for creators. He's also the chairman at Nobody Studios, a venture studio. Previously, Phil was the Chief Operating Officer of We Are Verified, a top-tier digital management company, as well as being the head of gaming creators North America at Facebook. Phil is a pioneer of the digital media revolution and also currently writes the popular social media tips newsletter, Grow 1%. There's a lot to talk about this week, so excited to get Phil's expertise. All right, let's get him on the show. Phil, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric. I'm excited to do it.
I mean, amazing to have you on given the circumstances in LA. I'm sorry to hear about everything happening, but hopefully you can help us make sense of some other stuff going on this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much heartening stuff coming out of it, though, with digital fundraising and everything that, further proof that the internet can be a part of the voice for good.
I would say. All right, should we get to our rules?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, a little rundown first. So on Make That Make Sense, we go through one headline, one tweet, and one deal in 15 minutes. Each section, meaning the headline, deal, and tweet, will last 3.5 minutes. You'll then have 1 minute to answer each trivia question, and all topics are from the last couple of days. All right, should we get to our headline?
Absolutely.
So this news shook up the media world, the political world over the last couple of days. You used to work at Facebook, so you probably have a unique perspective on it. A lot of people are going to see this as Zuckerberg kind of bending the knee towards a new MAGA movement. He said in his video that he saw the election as a cultural turning point, and that they're trying to create a platform more like X. Tell me, first of all, what's your general thoughts about this, and then what this does for the user experience.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people are still struggling with this idea of, is Facebook a company whose fiduciary responsibility is to give the brands the best experience they can have? Or is it a public utility where the point is to have freedom of speech, which I guess in this case, a lot of people define as speech that lives outside of all consequences. You can say whatever you want, nothing ever happens, right? Which is not what freedom of speech is, but let's play this out, right?
Sure.
Mark Zuckerberg has had times in the past where Donald Trump has called Facebook the true enemy of the people. The Elon Musk's proximity to power in this administration is a signifier that bad things were ahead for Facebook unless Mark did something. And he did something. He bended the knee, right? And this is a move that is purely one to appease that administration and not one that I think either serves users particularly well, because they're still going to get moderated for the stuff they're mad about. Hate speech is still going to be out. I mean, the things that are dangerous is people who can cyberbullying and all that kind of stuff is going to be more rampant, and people are going to get less banned. I think that YouTube is doing it the right way, per usual, which is, if something is a bad infraction, if you're trying to build an Al-Qaeda splinter cell to take down America, you get taken down. If it's a moderate infraction, something that could be living on the edge of bannable or not, then you get demonetized. And then if it's fine content, it's fine. And then, of course, there is a system by which you can say, I don't think that I was properly struck. Mark is not good with people. He's proven it time and time again. He's not good with users, and he's going too far in one direction because he's not good at this. So I think it's ultimately a bad decision, worded badly, that brands are not going to care for, and they are an ad-supported platform.
So let's talk a little bit about the economic implications of this. There's obviously a lot of user implications. We saw, once Elon took over X, a lot of the major advertisers fled the platform. But
Hmm.
again, this was before the election, and a lot of things seem to have changed since then. We saw actually one X executive at CES this week talk about how they expect all the major advertisers to be coming back to X. Do you see advertisers fleeing Meta at all, or do you think we've kind of completely changed in terms of the way, you know, advertisers are looking at these platforms post-election?
No, they'll flee a little bit, but the fact of the matter is, Meta is a better ads platform than Twitter. The people will not be going back to Twitter because there's literally no reason for it.
Okay, should we go on to our tweet?
Absolutely.
So, one of the biggest stories in media that's looming in the early parts of 2025 is if TikTok's going to get banned. We've seen Trump go back and forth on if he wants TikTok to be banned or not, but it seems like there is a good likelihood that it could be banned in just a couple of days. And we saw this not new, but this live selling startup Whatnot raise a huge $265 million investment, which puts their valuation to about $5 billion. This reporter from Bloomberg says that if TikTok is banned, Whatnot could be a big winner in the live shopping space. Do you agree with her? And then we'll kind of go from there.
No, I do not agree.
Hmm.
Big winner, moderate winner, little winner, a little bit of a winner, sure. Big winner, silly. The reason why TikTok Shop worked is because people go to TikTok and then they saw TikTok Shop stuff and they go, "Oh, I'll impulse buy that." Boom, right? And a lot of TikTok Shop is impulse buying. It's in the FYP. In terms of intentional buyers, you still need to get the user acquisition for Whatnot. I don't see a lot of people saying, "Oh, TikTok is banned. Oh, I miss TikTok Shop," right? I see people going, "TikTok is banned. I miss my comedy in my For You feed," right? So, yeah, maybe some people who are like those ride or die TikTok Shop loyalists, which I don't think there was that many, might go over to Whatnot. Some brands might spend more attention there. But ultimately, I think that the people Whatnot are getting already, what led them to the strong valuation they have already, are people who want to watch content and purchase from them. And I just
Yeah.
don't think TikTok's users are that.
Interesting. I think we've obviously seen a big rise in live shopping. It was something that's been big in Asia for a long time, and it seems to be coming over here now. TikTok Shop obviously had a big part in the rise of that. If TikTok does get banned, what platforms do you expect to kind of fill that void, or do you think we're going to kind of go backwards in this area?
Meta, YouTube, which is almost always the answer of who's going to win, right? Because the first thing, I mean, they've already announced some of this, like their changes to short form and how they're going to monetize. Meta's going to have more of a monetize everything thing. YouTube has really been attracting short form creators. They've all been beta testing their shoppable products. If it's the signal is clear that people are really missing shoppable video, which I don't think the signal is clear on that yet. I think, in fact, like $10 billion or whatever in sales they've had based on how much volume they have is an okay number, right?
Mm,
I don't think that social shopping hit a tipping point because TikTok was putting up those kind of numbers.
yeah.
Then Meta and YouTube will be able to capture that share. And I think that the best way for WhatsApp or Whatnot to grow is to continuing focus on their core shoppable video capabilities and hope that they get a buyout from one of the majors in the future.
Tell me how what you think about this statement. If I said that creators are the new QVC hosts, would that be accurate, misleading? How do you think about that?
I think it's accurate, but part of that is just because the kind of people that watch QVC ain't watching QVC anymore. They're on Facebook, right? So it's
Fair
like
enough.
it's almost just a more of an audience question than anything. And yeah, I think that it's been like that for a long time. Just before they're like, "Hey, you want to buy my T-shirt? Go into the description." And
Yeah,
now it's you want to buy it, and it's overlaid on the screen.
yeah. All right, should we head to our deal?
Let's do it.
So In a year where we were already expecting increased media M&A, this was a huge one to start the year. A lot of implications of this. Obviously, Venue Sports now might be starting, maybe in the spring. We see that with the combination of Fubo and Disney, they now have about 6.2 million subscribers to YouTube TV's 8 million. So there is now a kind of a competitive rivalry there. Give me your initial thoughts about this, what this means for all sides here, and then maybe what this deal tells you about the forecast for media M&A for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, user acquisition is everything. We are in a true attention economy where eyeballs are more valuable than dollars because people assume the dollars will come. That's been proven to be not true many times, but that's what the market thinks, right? Is like, I just need eyeballs, users. I need to get close to the audience. Smart move, I think, by Disney. I think smart move by Fubo. I see this as I see the subscription funnel. I think that live sports is something that people always sleep on in terms of new user acquisition, and I think that's a big part of what Disney's mathematics were on this deal. What I think this signals to the market in terms of M&A deals this year is that a lot of platforms thought that they could grow their audience in a scrappy way, and there's just too much competition for that, and buying other companies is just going to be easier. So I think that it's smart for startup founders to acquire users by any means necessary, even if you're losing money, like that kind of Amazon method, and expect a buyout in a couple of years, because there's going to be a whole lot of people trying to buy attention.
People will have said that, well, wait, Disney owns ESPN. They're starting their own streaming service that's going big into live sports. Why are they looking for Venue Sports now? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're kind of doubling down on live sports in this way?
So I wish I knew more about Venu, but what I'm
I wish
led
we
to
all did, to
understand,
be
I
honest.
wish we
Yeah.
all did. It's like I'm not a watcher, I will admit that, but
Yeah.
it sounds like they've got more international mind share than
Hmm.
ESPN does, and Disney's numbers are pretty strong internationally. So I think that it's less about I've already got sports covered, but more about like how do I get more sports covered?
Sure.
And I think that a lot of these networks are starting to think internationally more because they've kind of like tapped the American market about as hard as you can tap, right? Like
Yeah.
you buy a Verizon phone, they're just giving you Disney, they're shoving it in your face, right? So like eventually you have to look at the billion people in India, and you have to look at the Western Europe and sub-Saharan Africa. I think presents a huge opportunity. I think even Southern South America presents a huge opportunity. So I see a lot more people looking at those markets for new subscriptions.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. What is a deal or a merger that you would like to see in media this year?
I would like to see Twitter get resold to Meta. And
Hmm.
there's a very specific reason for this.
Okay.
It's because what Meta does best is ads. What Twitter does best is having microbloggers, which I think is valuable. I
Yeah.
think that we should have real-time microbloggers. And I think Elon ruined Twitter in a lot of ways because he can't do what Mark did. And Facebook is slowly getting ruined because he can't do what Twitter did, which
Hmm.
is capture real-time conversation instead of constantly just trying to get shareable memes shoved in people's faces.
I'm sure that prediction will be a topic of conversation with two of the biggest players in the space now. Should we go on to our trivia?
I'll go for it. I'm not a trivia guy, but I'll try.
Okay. Okay, so the first one is a two truths and a lie. So this one is around the gaming industry, since this is a space that you spent a lot of time in. So tell me which one is the lie. Live service games are dominated by women. There is an equal amount of women and men playing video games. And in 2023, estimated US market value for the video game streaming industry was around $2.3 billion.
I think I know number two. If it's not exactly true, it's very close. Um, I think that the live video game streaming industry is higher than 2.3 billion. So I'm gonna say three is the lie.
Okay, so it actually is around 2.3 billion.
Ah,
One is actually the lie.
Dang it.
Live service games actually turn out to be more dominated by men than women, interestingly enough. All
Makes
right,
sense.
let's go to our second one. All right, true or false? In 2024, OnlyFans generated approximately 2.2 billion in revenue.
Way false. That was way low. It's way higher than that.
You would be correct. It is actually about 3 times that. It was about 6.6 billion.
You bet.
All right. Well, Phil, really appreciate you coming on for this unique format to start the year and helping us make sense of oh my God, so many different stories this week. So really appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Thank you, Eric. This was fun.
Awesome, Phil.